First day of the Isthmian season, a 5-1 defeat here for Kingstonian at Cray. Hayden, not a good afternoon.
No, I think that's fair to say. I think it's also fair to say that whoever's represented Kingstonian today has been a disgrace. And ultimately it's my responsibility. But that is no reflection of my work. And they've embarrassed me and they've betrayed my work. And rest assured that will not happen again.
What particularly this afternoon are you disappointed in?
Well, first of all, I think it's important to establish that Cray have a footballing identity, and it's a footballing identity that doesn't change. And so last year when we come here and we played 0-0 and should have won, I would say, in a tight game, tactically it was exactly the same. So the work before the game is exactly the same as the work it was in that January-February day. You'd never have believed that. The players play for themselves. They didn't play for the club. They looked as though it was a group of players that did very well last season and didn't want to put the shift in the same way. And it's not acceptable. If I go through the goals, the first goal, the team is coached about making the decisions in the right areas. And if I tell you that throughout Tuesday and Thursday, it's been specific to Andre Coker about working the ball in the right areas, of when to take people on, of when to move the ball and pass the ball, support the ball. So the first goal is unforgivable. We then miss a number of opportunities. Probably we should have done better, and we're a little bit toothless in the final third of the field today. The second goal is passive. So we speak about Cray and we speak about how you have to really get their heads down and make them work, make them pass sideways, make them pass backwards, make them play long and miss people out. The second goal, he has a shot 20 yards from goal. I don't think that shot should be beating my goalkeeper, for one, but I will defend the goalkeeper and say that if you want to give someone a free strike and put no pressure on the ball 20 yards from goal, that can happen. So the first two goals are unforgivable. The third goal, they work on the training ground. On the boards there is very specific instructions to what everybody has to do in set plays. And in the set plays, Daniel, Coker and So have to stop counter-attacks, have to stay in the back three, and everybody else has zones to cover. So they take the corner, Coker decides to stay on the goalkeeper. Gus is wrong side of the ball. So in counter-attack, suddenly they're 1v1.
Has Daniel got to make a foul there on the halfway line, though?
Well, I think he probably tried to. But the fact is, structurally, that is a car crash. The fourth goal, to give everybody an idea of attention to detail, they are told that who is 1 in the wall, who is 2 in the wall, who is 3 in the wall, who is 4 in the wall, who is 5 in the wall. Hutchins is number 1 in the wall. Cooper decides to go number 1 in the wall, so we don't get the right block on the ball. It deflects and it goes in. And the fifth goal is passive. It's a total disgrace. You know, you know me. Everybody knows me. I will come on and I will deflect the blame at times, and I will protect the players. I am not protecting that. They should hold their heads in shame, and in its embarrassment to my work.
Moving away from the goals a little bit, I think even the goals are one thing, but in the first half it felt like it was quite an even game. We had quite a lot of the ball, and you know, they've scored 2. The finishes are both really good, irrespective of the defending, but in the second half it felt like we're not in the game to the same extent that we are in the first half. What's gone wrong there away from the goals?
I think in games like this, when you're 2-0 down at half time, the next goal is all important. It's either it's game on or it's game over. And the third goal is equivalent to you going out with your family tonight and leaving the front door open, and you're surprised when you come home and you've been robbed. It's exactly the same. You can't do that. And of course then the heat is taken out of the game. But strategically, work was ignored. Structurally, work was ignored. I thought the attitude of the players was big time, and I think that everybody who wore that shirt today should go home in disgrace, and I will go home embarrassed, because you know me, I'm not used to losing. Last season was, other than Cheshunt, 1-2 defeats in 20 games. Sometimes you accept that, you know, you win, you lose, but if you lose, it's tight games, 2-1. That's not close, and that's a wake-up call. Cray did very well. Let's give credit to Tony, let's give credit to his team. They knew they had to bring their A game today because they were playing Kingstonian. Horsham will be the same, Worthing will be the same, because Kingstonian now have a reputation of being real contenders. What I would say to the players is, if I see that again, they won't be playing at Kingstonian next Saturday. If I see that at Horsham, they'll be gone by the following week, because this is not what the project is about. And for day one, that is a shambles.
Are you concerned that until the goal that Corey's taken and Omar's and Buchanan have set up, are you concerned that we haven't really created anything clear cut in the game as well in terms of chances?
Well, I think there were chances in the first half, but I think, like I say, we were toothless in the first half, and I think that Corey come on and did very well today. There was a very clear game plan how Elliot would start the game and for Corey to finish the game. We've got to remember that there's 2 games a week for the foreseeable future, so you have to manage the team. I mean, do you look back and say Corey should have played? It's a difficult one to say that he shouldn't have played. He's come on, he's looked the biggest threat. But today, I think it's more important to look at the other end, because last season at times we wasn't good enough in the final third, but last season this game maybe would have been 0-0. The goals were presents, the goals were gifts. I give amazing credit, amazing congratulations to Tony, to Cray. I said to the players before the game, is that if you want to win things, this is a team that will either 15th of May be in playoff finals or fight for league titles. We know that they're very good, and today they were very good and we were very bad.
It seemed like every time it wasn't anything clever, but whenever they played the ball almost straight down the middle of the pitch, we looked terrified, and suddenly Joe Taylor is there winning the ball, with the balls going straight over our midfield heads, and our back four don't really know what to do with it. Why was that so easy for them today?
Yeah, this is where players have to take responsibility in managing the game, because if you see in the first half, for example, that from goal kicks they look to play short. So their idea is that you have to commit bodies forward to stop them in the first phase of play. So as in the second half they committed bodies forward. Of course you can't be offside from a goal kick, so the centre forward stays very high and tries to isolate the centre half. It's a good idea, it's a good tactic, but when you are as loose as what we were today, it's not difficult to create chances. And so, like I say, I don't want to disrespect Cray by not giving them the credit they deserved, but I want everybody to know that today we would have played anybody in the league and lost, because we were that bad.
It doesn't get any easier. We go to Horsham in the Cup on Tuesday. We haven't talked since that draw. It's obviously a tricky one,
yeah,
and presumably selection for that has suddenly got a lot trickier.
Yeah, the worry for that game is there's no time to work, because, you know, I would really, if it were me, I would be in Sunday, I would be in Monday, I would be in Tuesday afternoon in preparation for that game, but I can't do that. So there's a couple of things that you have to rely on. You have to rely on the human reaction from the team, from the players, because I'll go home tonight, I cancel my arrangements for the weekend. I don't want to go out, I don't want to see people, I don't talk to people. If the players want to go out and socialise and enjoy their Saturday night, I don't want them, because if it means more to the manager, if Kingstonian means more to the manager than it does to the players, I don't want them. And they need to show me that. They need to show me, as men, they've got to stand up. They need to show me that they've had their pants pulled down and they've had their arse kicked today, quite frankly. And it wasn't difficult to do that. It was scandalous. It was scandalous on every level of football, and I can only apologise to the magnificent support. I really enjoyed the day until the first whistle blew. Thank the supporters for the support that they give me as I walked onto the technical area. Supporters were brilliant as always, and Kingstonian have let down the supporters today, and they've let down the club, and that doesn't sit comfortably with me. And I hope that the players are as embarrassed as I am, because they really ought to be.
Well, disappointing afternoon. We'll see you Tuesday.
Thank you.